Hey, what's up, fam? It's been a while since I did a Seven Deadly Sins review, so I'm just gonna do all the ones that I need right now, catching up to it, and 297 all the way to chapter 300. A lot has happened in that span of time, but at the same time, I can't really say that I'm enjoying the progress because of just really how it's playing out, is really what I say. The original demon or the original sinner that was, laid out a while ago, and then kind of, obviously we got revealed that it was Chandler and Cusack as the original body, and they were split into those two characters. We had King and everyone kind of show up. Male got his power back, and Escanor seems to have lost it. We've had all this kind of bits brought up, but at the same time, it feels weird because it doesn't feel as natural, I think, as a lot of parts of the series is. We had so many characters just seemingly get hyped up and then not really live up to that hype at the same time, and it's kind of goofy when you think about how the portrayal of some of them are. But it really just kind of came down when you're talking about these chapters is Zeldris somehow manages to keep up with people, even though his power level is like 60k. You have the original Sinner getting completely joked on. He doesn't even look intimidating. Male shows up, and he somehow is way more powerful than Lucia Dell, but somehow Zeldris is able to compete with him. And then they're like, "All right, cool, we got the Chrono Coffin off. Oh, slightly too late. And here's the Demon King version of Meliodas." So I like his design. I gotta say, like, just the design itself. I don't really like the idea of making him pretty much making him an adult body. And then the design is pretty simplistic, but I actually really like the arms coming out of the shoulder pads, and then those kind of look more like wings. I don't know, but the way those kind of like whipping hands come out, and how he kind of just fights there with his hands crossed and just not looking like he's really into the fight. And then those hands just go around smacking everybody around him and taking him out. I think that part is really cool. I like that bit about his design. I think that one is a really interesting aspect. Obviously, it turns out it's not even him. It's the Demon King, who I don't know why it's him. The character, though he's existed in the story for a long time, he hasn't really done anything, and I don't get why he thinks he's coming off so smug when we already saw that Meliodas, with his super secret original for real this time power, was able just to completely rip the dude's arm off with like no effort. So and he already came back through. So I'm wondering, like, why aren't you worried that this original Meliodas is gonna fight you? Whether it's like he takes the body back over and they have like a spiritual battle like inside the body for whoever takes over, or if there's literally gonna be another Meliodas that shows up. I mean, but obviously, that special secret, like for real this time power, is enough to damage him to completely rip his arm off, and he doesn't seem to be able to resist it. So why exactly is he acting? So why is he not being like, I need, like, the first thing I need to do is figure out how to deal with this? Like, he shouldn't even be acknowledging these characters because they're obviously fodder to him, like they're nothing, and it he's just being there to talk shit at Elizabeth and Hawk. But why? Why is he doing that? Like, he's wasting time, and it just comes off right now as just like you're being an idiot. You aren't coming off as some big villain, and it's not even like he has a really interesting personality either. Like, his character, I don't know, he just seems kind of boring. Like, why would you have this character somehow seemingly become the big end game villain, but there's almost no substance behind him, and I don't really like that. I mean, I talked about before that the male Starosa, he was like the perfect villain for the to be the final villain of the series, because we obviously know the whole layout of everything had to be. It's kind of like this angel and demon Romeo and Juliet between Elizabeth and Meliodas, and how everything kind of went poorly because of that. And then you had Male, who was, he had a thing for Elizabeth, and he he lost her heart to his rival who was on the enemy faction, and then he became like this fallen angel of both light and darkness, and he had these cool abilities. Like he was this corrupted demon angel guy. Like it was so cool just to see how that kind of was playing out, and then nothing. Like he probably didn't have as much weight as the Demon King or the Supreme Goddess, but he had the emotional and story-wise weight, and it looked like his character weight itself, like how intimidating he was really growing, like as those fights growing, which I thought was really cool. But now it's being laid out as the Demon King, who's done relatively nothing in this series, but occasionally talked to Meliodas. Like I don't know, it's kind of weird. I don't really like that whole aspect of it. Like I like his design, like talked about obviously, and I like this whole fighting style he's giving off of, but he doesn't feel like a final villain. Like it feels more like Kaguya and Naruto, or it was like you had Madara, who was, we knew about Madara from all these flashbacks and all the story build up, and you saw like how intimidating he was, how cool he was even on arrival, and all this bits that really made you feel like, okay, he's gonna be the main villain, or Sasuke will somehow be the main or the final villain, and then Kaguya comes out of nowhere and it's just like, I'm gonna kill him and pretty much be the final villain of the Naruto series before obviously the little scuffle with Sasuke and then the movie stuff. But why is the Demon King suddenly showing up? Like it should have been he shows up and then real Meliodas, like the Demon King body Meliodas, just like trashes him or something, and then you get hyped for that, and maybe like he absorbs his power or something that really kind of lays out like it was being built up. Like it just doesn't feel like it at all. And that's one of the things that Seven Deadly Sins I think is kind of bothering me is you had all this really nice actual like build up and this really good layout of events, and they fumbled it really badly. And I don't really know if how I feel about that other than I just don't really enjoy it. Like I don't think this ruined the series for me. I already talked about how when Maelstrom Rosa kind of yelled the evil to go away and then became good again. That aspect of the series I think is permanently defiled for me, and I'm not ever gonna be able to get over that when I think about the series. It's not like, say, I'm gonna use another example. You have Fairy Tail, who seemingly was over with Acnologia being the final villain because you didn't know which one was going to be the final villain between Zeref and Acnologia. It was kind of back and forth. It turned out to be Acnologia, well, until the sequel series started. But the fight was very short. It didn't seem like as impactful. Like it didn't seem as large scale or as big. You know that, but we know from conversations and the Q and A's that seemingly was rushed, and he's gonna Hiroshima wants to extend it, make it bigger in the anime. So it's like kind of like that, where it's like you just felt like it was a little bit shortened, and you have some hope for the future. Whereas this was more like the spot was just robbed. I guess it would be like for Fairy Tail if Ivan showed up out of nowhere and it's like, hey, remember me and Raventail? We're the villains now. We're gonna be the final villains of the series. It's like, well, I knew you existed, but why? Why are you doing this? I don't know. It's kind of weird. I just don't really like it. I don't really like how Seven Deadly Sins is going. Obviously, some people like it. I just don't really care for it. I'm a little curious though to what at the end of the chapter when Bond shows up. Like, what is he gonna do? It's a little bit confusing because it was revealed that he doesn't have his immortality anymore when he gave it to bring back oh my god, Elaine, and his whole fighting style is centered around stealing people's stats and stamina over time and like being not worrying about taking damage generally because of his regeneration and mortality. But now he's not going to have it, so I'm wondering how exactly he's going to fight. Like obviously he can give people stamina and life and stuff, but now he doesn't have the unlimited supply anymore. So I don't know what exactly he's going to be doing in this whole fight. But we'll see. Obviously he got stronger in that other world, but I don't know. It seems like the whole thing that he kind of gained out of it is like enhancing his healing and regen is now gone, or it seemingly should be gone since he allegedly gave that power up. But I don't know. Drop a comment below on what you think about this and how the story is going for you. I was really liking where it was going, and then just it took such 180 turn of down into me not being that happy. Right now, I'm pretty much just reading it to see how it ends. I don't know. It's unfortunate because I'd rather be happy at reading a series than reading it and being salty. But I would like to know what other people have to say about it. And if I can get you to please also thumbs up the video, befriend the like button. Hit that like button, make it your buddy, and subscribe to the channel for more. Check out my other videos and see what else that I do and talk about that you might be interested in. But other than that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.